Well, I was walking along one day just minding my own when I came upon three women at the corner. I nodded to them and they nodded back, and we all just stood there waiting for the traffic. And they gave me the once-over and talked amongst themselves. I crossed the street ahead of them, but I could tell there were three sets of eyes following me from a little ways behind, and they caught up with me again at the next light. They said, "We can tell by your stride and the cut of your duds you got something in common with us." They said, "We know a little place where you'll feel right at home. It's not far from here and we'll gladly show you." So I went with them. And they led me up the street and around the next block, and then took a little shortcut through an alley, climbed up a flight of fire escape stairs to a big purple door, and said, "We're here." Well, a mean-looking woman opened up the door, and those other women all flashed their cars, and then she looked me up and down real hard, and they just smiled and said, "We found a new one." So I walked in, and to my surprise, there was a whole lot of women lined up along the bar, all dressed alike. In their faded jeans, and their high-stepping boots, and their slick-back hair, and they all started towards me at once, and I got ready to meet my maker, whoever she is. They all shook my hand and slapped me on the back and welcomed me into their pack, and they took away my jacket and gave me one of theirs, and then led me back to the bar and said, "Congratulations, you're a lessie." Then they introduced the woman to me, and I could tell right away she had authority, because right there on her jacket was inscribed, "Supreme Mother." She smiled and said, "You'll do fine. We've got some rules here, but you'll soon see what it boils down to is we here live by just one creed. Politically correct. Politically correct. Some nights you'll wake up in a shivering sweat, worried that all of your personal semantics are politically correct. Well, they started reciting their rules to me like absolutely no makeup or heels, and you'll start taking vegetarian meals and to hate all men. Well, now wait a minute, I said, what about my father? He paid for my college education. Doesn't matter. Money is evil. So is knowledge. Well, I spent the next few days getting indoctrinated, and most of it made sense, but some of it didn't, and some woman ran around screaming, "Is it PI? Is it PI?" And I'm looking around for three-leaf plants. I didn't think it grew in the city, but I was new here, and you never know. They grow strange things in some places. Well, I went along with it all for quite some time, even brought some new recruits in after a while, and any question that we could possibly raise was always answered with this same phrase: politically correct, politically correct. Some nights you wake up in a shivering sweat, worried that all of your personal actions are politically correct. Then I started to do a real slow burn and tried to figure out how I had turned from a free-thinking individual to somebody who wasn't thinking at all. And I went stomping in there, madder than hell, and they all looked up, and I started to yell, "I demand to know who made up these rules we have to follow, and who put them in charge and gave them their power. I want to see them." There was silence. And nobody moved, and no one spoke, not even the Supreme Mother. I mean, I realize the need for terms of respect and certain common goals that bring us together, but I know what we call each other is just a start, and it's how we treat each other that really counts. And I decided that day I'd had enough. I turned in my jacket and just walked out, and I can tell you when I got outside, that fresh air and sunshine made me feel high. And I figured, the hell with it. I'm just gonna be myself. I decided to treat others the way I'd like them to treat me, leave myself open to new ideas, respect someone's right to be different if they please, and try to be sensitive to other folks' needs. And I'm doing fine. I haven't exactly resigned from the sister fold, but these days I'm feeling better and stronger, and I feel free after tossing those two words out of my vocabulary. Politically correct. Politically correct. Well, no more waking in a shivering sweat, worried that all of our personal actions are politically correct.